Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about learning to build as a newer beginner level player. I'm going to explain all the basic building patterns and edits that you will need to learn in order to quickly advance to intermediate level building techniques. So before we start, I should explain the absolute ground floor fundamentals of this game's building mechanic. The entire Fortnite map is a gigantic grid. Think of it as a huge chessboard, and the building pieces that you can place on this chessboard are walls, floors, ramps, and pyramids. It is very important to have each of these building pieces bound to an easily accessible keybind. Personally, I use E for floors, Q for stairs, and 2 thumb mouse buttons for walls and roofs. Once you have comfortable keybinds, the first building pattern you should learn is the reinforced ramp rush. Let's say I'm trying to climb to the top of this tower to attack an enemy. If I build up with ramps alone, it will only take my enemy 5 AR bullets to shoot my entire ramp down. But if I reinforce my ramp with walls, it will take the enemy 10 bullets to knock my ramp down. Once you can reinforce your ramp with walls like this, practice making 2 ramps and reinforcing those ramps with 2 walls. And the way you do this, drag your ramps and then drag your walls the opposite direction. This double ramp rush will keep you even more protected from high ground opponents. But understand that any low ground opponent will still be able to shoot down your ramps with ease. To protect against low ground opponents shooting your ramps down, the next building pattern you should learn is double reinforced ramps. So as I make my climb with ramps, I am placing a floor and a wall after I place my ramp. This will keep you twice as reinforced. It doesn't matter if anybody shoots you from the high ground or the low ground. It will take 10 bullets, either way, to break down this ramp rush. Once you've learned to double reinforce your ramp rush with floors and walls, you should learn how to turn. And the way to do that is to place a floor, turn 90 degrees in the direction you would like to climb, place a wall, and then a ramp. So, floor, wall, ramp. The more you practice this technique, the more comfortable you will be changing directions in a fight while keeping your climb reinforced. Now, a common mistake that happens when using this technique, you might find yourself trapped underneath your ramps like that. And if this happens, it is likely because you are attempting to jump while staying too close to the front edge of this floor. As I place a ramp here, this ramp is above my head. So try to make sure you're jumping before you reach the halfway point on this floor. That way you can prevent trapping yourself under your ramps like this. Once you've learned how to reinforce your ramp rush with floors and walls, and you've also learned how to turn while reinforcing your ramps, you should learn how to turn 180 degrees. And the way you'll do that, let's say you are ramping up and you want to turn to look this direction. You are going to start placing walls here, drag 180 degrees, jump, and place a floor and a ramp below yourself. Here, I'll show you guys that quick turnaround slowed down just a little bit. So, 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, jump, look down, place the floor and ramp below you, keep going. Wall, 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 floor, ramp, keep going. And now let's speed it up. Make sure you try to learn this while running full speed. Once you've learned how to reinforce your ramps, turn while climbing, and also make 180 degree turns, you're in a good position to win build battles and take high ground for yourself. But from up here, this structure can still be knocked down. So what you'll need to learn after learning these basic build patterns is how to fall safely. And the best way to fall down from this structure by using buildings is to make 2 walls and then a ramp to catch yourself. Make sure when you try to fall, you look straight down. And know that if you place more than these 2 walls here, you will take fall damage as you land on this ramp. To speed up the fall as fast as you can, Once you make these 2 walls, immediately look forward and run off the edge of this ramp. As you can see, this allows me to just skim the edge of this ramp to get down as quickly as I can. The next building strategy you should learn is how to quickly put yourself in a box. By looking straight ahead, turbo building a wall, and flicking my mouse across my mouse pad, I can turn 360 degrees and put walls all around myself. Right after I do that, I want to put a floor above this box and a pyramid on top of that. Practice building these boxes as fast as you can. Also practice editing your way out of these boxes. A 3-piece edit like this will let you escape this box very quickly. To keep yourself even more protected inside your box, in addition to adding a pyramid on top of the box, place a pyramid right on top of yourself in here. That way, if somebody sprays you from above, they will have to break through 3 walls before they can damage you. This gives you ample time to use healing items, reload your weapons, and prepare to start a fight. But once again, placing yourself under a pyramid requires you to practice how to escape this box. Now, when editing this pyramid, I want to raise either one tile or both these tiles to escape out this wall. Practicing these edits early on and getting in the habit of placing a pyramid both on top of your box and on top of your player model will set you up nicely to advance to the next higher level of building strategies. Once you've practiced turning quickly to put yourself in a box, you can practice quickly turning to build what is called a 1x1. So in a lot of situations, you will need to put yourself in a box and then climb. This lets you establish a high ground position and spot low ground enemies. Now the way you do this is the same way you put yourself in a turtle box. Quickly turbo build walls around you, jump, place a ramp, turbo build walls. Now placing a floor and a ramp will prevent you from getting stuck under this ramp, right? Because sometimes if you just place a ramp, that ramp will end up blocking you. By adding the floor here, I can prevent myself from getting trapped underneath this ramp. Once you've practiced building yourself a nice, tall 1x1, you should practice editing down that 1x1. Now, the primary goal of editing is to be consistent. If you try editing really fast, right away, you aren't going to make it very far. Your edits won't be consistent. And the best way to be consistent is to be slow. So, to make these edits, the fastest way of doing this is to edit a ramp and edit your floor like that. So we are doubling back. We're going right to left and right to left. Make that stair edit and the same floor edit right underneath me. Stairs on the far side and edit these closer blocks of the floor. Now this is faster and more consistent than alternating right to left, left to right. It is much easier to develop muscle memory by focusing on a right to left motion. This will let you get this edit more consistent, smooth, nice, and crisp. And this is an important thing to practice. Once you've practiced editing down your 1x1, you'll need to practice editing up. So if you guys didn't know, there is a way to instantly reset building edits. So normally if I press my edit key F, I will have to right click to reset this edit and then press F again to confirm that edit. However, if I look in my key bindings right here, this binding right here, reset building edit and building edit. Now if I bind these 2 commands to one unused key, for me that is left shift. I do not have left shift bound to any other action. If I bind these 2 functions to left shift, I tap shift once and I select this edit, press it again, and it confirms that edit. Now this is going to let me climb up this 1x1 much more easily. So I'm making sure to look at whichever building piece I want to reset, making sure I jump before I make that edit confirmation, and this is going to let me reset each of these floors and ramps until I reach the top of this 1x1. Learning how to edit quickly and smoothly is an important part of the game. Wall edits are probably the most common type of edits that you'll be performing in an average game. If there's an opponent on the opposite side of this wall, I need to think about my crosshair placement. If that opponent is on the same level that I'm on, I wouldn't want to make this kind of edit to get through this wall. When I make this edit, my crosshair is pointing down. That means I have to look up again to try and shoot my opponent. The better way to perform this edit is to start low and end high. This way I have to move my crosshair a shorter distance in order to line up a shot. However, if an opponent is on this stair, I might want to make that high to low edit if I'm looking to take a shot immediately after. Try to practice these wall edits in creative mode until they are consistent. Now you should be trying to perform a variety of edits to make it through these walls quickly. Depending on the situation, you might need to perform any of these edits at a moment's notice. Learning how to edit quickly will make it a lot easier for you to navigate your existing structures. If you have expended a lot of materials in a build fight, it's very important that you are able to edit through existing structures effectively in order to maintain momentum and keep control in a build fight. Practice placing a ramp above you in different kinds of situations. Try to use everything you've learned today, like ramp reinforcement, turning while climbing, building 1x1s, and performing this 180-degree turn. Try to practice these things while also putting a ramp above you. So, say I do a 180-degree turn. Using this wall, I can look up, put a ramp above myself, and ramp out. Now, if I single ramp out, I can place a floor, edit through the floor, look up, place a ramp above myself. If I am reinforcing a simple ramp rush to cover my head, I can place this floor, look down to place this ramp above me, and continue onward. Now, once you've learned how to double ramp and combine it with everything we've learned today, right, on top of learning some basic edits, how to build a 1x1, how to quickly turtle yourself in a box, you should be ready to learn more advanced building techniques that I'll talk about in next week's video. And that's going to be things like this 90-degree turn here. Things like pyramid side steps. And trickier edit techniques like this. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. I'll be back next week with a video about intermediate building techniques.